Very excited to be joined by the very popular writer for The Athletic covering the Carolina Hurricanes, my friend Sara Civian. Sarah, what's going on?
Popular to some. How are you doing?
Well, to me at least. I don't know. Every
That's all
every
that
time every
matters.
time we interact on Twitter, my phone's like blowing up from your response to my tweet, like from all your fans and stuff.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no. Well, I guess was that a clout thing? I don't know, but I appreciate
It is
showing me love
now.
back.
Kidding.
Um,
I'm good though. Getting ready for the hockey season. How are you?
well, I was just gonna ask you that too. Like fully summer mode a week ago, and now all of a
Mhm.
sudden we're talking about training camps. Like, are you in hockey mode yet? Because I'm like totally not.
I mean, with the Canes doing 15 signings and then also like the offer sheets and the Andrei Svechnikov extension in the past few weeks, it's been kind of hockey mode. So blessing and a curse. I mean, I got my vacations out and then it was
Huh.
like go, go, go. So I'm ready.
Where'd you go on vacation? I saw you were in Boston for a bit, right? Or
Yeah, I
no?
was in Boston. Then I went to Michigan. My boyfriend, his brother got married, and then we went to Torch Lake in Michigan, which was awesome. It's like the
Very cool.
Caribbean Sea somehow. I did not see that
Really?
coming, but yeah, it's like the blue, clear waters. So
I
opinions on
would.
lakes changed.
Yeah, I would love to go up north of Michigan. Everyone talks. It's like I guess like the Cape Cod for Mass. Like
Cape Cod for Kid Rock. Yeah.
yeah, exactly Cape Cod for Kid Rock. That's so funny. I mean, like everyone has their own like summer spot. Like Minnesota has the
Yeah.
lakes, but Michigan I would never really expect. But
Yeah.
everyone I know in hockey always like has the sickest time up there, and I would love to check it out.
Yeah.
So that's cool that
Can
you got to do that.
confirm. Yeah.
But summers in Carolina can't be too bad, no?
Oh my God, 117% humidity. One day I just walked outside like 2 summers ago and booked a flight to Boston. I was like, you could fry an egg on
Yeah.
my parking lot. I was like, I can't be here. It stresses me out. I'm sweating.
So funny that frying an egg thing is totally a myth because one of my best friends tried it this summer and it just doesn't work.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I'm disappointed to hear
Yeah.
that.
Sorry, I just ruined your day.
Yeah, how will I go on?
Before I go into the hockey stuff, because it's a hockey show, but something I always love asking reporters, and I don't know if you want to answer this or not, but yeah, I see your face. But I have like a very weak stomach, so I'm always curious how like reporters, like let's say you have to take a shit in the middle of the game and you miss something big and it affects your article. Has that ever happened to you?
Luckily, it's not like 1941 and we have instant replay and stuff. So you can just,
Gotcha.
sometimes I have really bad eyesight. So I bring
Uh-huh.
binoculars to like I'm 7 years
No, you
old.
don't.
No, I do because I have to see because I can't see anymore. I should just get glasses, but whatever. But sometimes I'll be watching the game on like NHL or whatever it is
Mhm.
on my computer too. So I get a better look when I'm at the game. I feel like it's so important to be at the game for like the overall nuance and for talking to people because you walk down the hallway, you see an injured guy, you're like, hey, how are you? Whatever. And
Mhm.
then the post game locker room access, obviously. But I sometimes would rather watch on a computer screen.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of an issue. So believe it or not, I can go to the bathroom freely.
It's so nice because well, some people I feel like I've talked to I'm not gonna name any names, but other people have said like you got to take over. I can't hold you.
Well, I will say it's different for me because they're probably writing on deadlines where it's like I can submit something at 3 in the morning and it doesn't matter. That's the
Gotcha,
advantage of working at the Athletic for sure.
gotcha. That is awesome. So anyone who's looking for a reporter job, the Athletic is the place to go. It seems like that's
Oh,
a good pitch.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
pitch. But another thing I'm curious about too, obviously this season, are you guys in person now, or is it still like Zoom post game interviews?
The thing is, they can take it day by day, but the last we heard, yes, we get if you're fully vaccinated and you have a mask on, you can go in the locker room. And I'm going to start traveling again for the first time in
Oh
almost
wow.
2 years. The first two games are in Nashville and Montreal. So giddy up. But I mean, safely because now Delta is everywhere. But
Yeah.
as far as we know, it's very, very likely we're going to be able to go in the locker rooms. And I know the NHL is fighting for that. And I'm not sure if they're going to go team by team to what degree, especially where cases are rising or falling or whatever. But
Mhm.
it's looking good for me in Carolina. Thank God.
I'm gonna miss your Zoom content though. It
Oh
was
my
so funny. Yeah, it was it
God.
was it was so funny.
It's just like at a certain point I cracked and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was even talking to one of the guys' dads. I was like, do they hate me? Like it's very hard to, I know, because I hate this as much as they do too. It's like when you see
Mhm.
a spider, it's like they're just as scared as you are. Like we all hated Zoom the same amount, but it's just like you can't, there's no nuance, there's no like, hey, what's up, how are you, or that's going to be annoying to everybody else trying to
Yeah.
ask a question when in reality this is not how to communicate with humans to get like good content or whatever. It's like the classic pucks in deep, and then everybody sees these Zooms who's fans, and they're like, see, you guys don't need locker room access, you don't do anything. And I'm like, yeah, because 15 people are watching this and might use the content as well, right? Like I like to do one-on-one, so it's going to be great to get back to that.
Yeah, it's almost like you're in line for like a virtual meet and greet.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, can you sign this stick? Like,
yeah, that's such a weird. I don't know how I would handle it if I was, you know, covering a team. That's so bizarre. But it seems like there's a lot of cool guys on the team in Carolina, and especially like someone I want to talk about is, you know, Coach of the Year Rod Brindamore. Like he just seems like the coolest dude ever.
Oh, he's the best. Like I'd say I have a pretty good relationship with him, and he'll like take me aside and like walk me through some play or something. And he treats everybody as equals. Like he has respect for anybody like in the building. And he's just one of the most professional people I've ever met, and one of the nicest, believe it or not. Like I know people like think he's scary or something, and I'm sure, I mean, he is. You see that? I remember that picture of him screaming at a ref, and he'll stand up for his team, but he's not screaming at people, you know.
One of my favorite clips of him was after the David Ayers game. Like he was just he was just like so genuine, and he seemed like very down to earth about it. Like that, I love watching that video. I watched like literally 20 times. It's just one of those feel good moments in the sport, you know.
Yeah. Do you want to know the one road trip I missed all season?
It was that
really.
That sucks.
My life.
What were you doing? Can I ask?
Yeah, it was just a back-to-back, and there was going to be no morning skate, and it was in Toronto for one day. So I'm like, do I want to go to Canada for one day? I'm not going to miss anything.
Yeah. Missed the biggest story probably since you've been covering the team.
Yeah, but I've gotten to know David actually after that, and he's like, it couldn't have happened to a better guy. Like he is so funny, so down to earth, and just making the absolute most out of this.
It's just funny how that works. Like the one weekend you can't go. That's, you know, like the biggest story for the Hurricanes. What is that, a stick behind you, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Is that your boyfriend's?
Boyfriend Everett. Hi.
Gotcha.
You want to say hi to him? He's
I know he's a player.
Yeah. He's not. He's playing chill over there. You know, but yeah. What is this? This is the
It's a Warrior. I see.
Yeah. Is this good? I don't really know.
I honestly, I've never been one to know the name of the stick. I always just liked what I used and to get 10 of them. It's kind of just how I was, you know. Yeah, I'm not a big equipment name person. So I actually have somewhat maybe of a controversial topic, not what you're thinking. I actually argued this with my cousin. He writes for Forbes about like the bottom 10. Yeah, had to brag for him there. He's got a blue check. He's a big deal.
Oh shit.
His name's Jason, so I'll give him a shout out. You can curse, say whatever you want.
Okay.
But we were arguing the other day about like the bottom 10 markets for free agents in the NHL, because the argument started with the Islanders. He claims that the Islanders are still not, you know, in the top 22. I guess there's 32 teams now for free agents. And I was like, no, dude, you're wrong. And then we started naming them, and Carolina came up as a bottom 10 market, but I was like, not anymore. Like, it looks like a fun place to play. They have a good team. I might actually bet on them to win the Stanley Cup because they probably have great value. But I kind of want to know what your list, if you can, this is kind of a hot seat question, of bottom 10 free agent markets right now. I mean, Buffalo is obviously one.
Yes. Okay. So can we do this by like conversations I've had with players that kind of have expressed it? And I know everybody's different. I don't want anybody to take offense to this, because I know like literally just like us, players have different opinions. And I'll put in a little bit of mine and theirs. I'm going to have to say Islanders just based on what I know, and just kind of like, I don't know, the strictness to some degree, and kind of, I think it'll change. I don't know. It's just kind of like the location was pretty tough for some guys that might have played like in different markets, just because of it's not has nothing. The guy that I talked to absolutely loved the fans and loved being an Islander and like loved what that meant, but the location was kind of tough for him. So we'll do that. But obviously the rink was in transition and stuff. But anyway, so there's that, and then definitely Buffalo, Ottawa, just because it's Ottawa.
I mean, I had all these three on my list so far.
Yeah. All right. Wait, let me look. It will help me with. Let me roll up a list of all these. Okay.
You're good. I could cut all this.
I have zero brain cells.
I wouldn't be able to answer this question on the spot, honestly. So
Edmonton might like kind of, but at the same time, you want to play with Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
So
I'm also thinking about like, cities have a huge effect. Like I even question St. Louis. Like, is St. Louis a bottom 10? I don't know.
It really depends what you're going for. You know, I feel like now with the kind of cup contention.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. What else here? Montreal is probably the most hit or miss place because either
Really?
you want to go. Yeah. I mean, actually, people love playing in Montreal. I'd say that with Toronto instead, just because
The media and everything.
of the pressure. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of guys actually like just don't want to deal with that. Winnipeg.
Yeah, I had Winnipeg on mine too.
Yeah. How many are we up to at this point?
I'm not even keeping count, so you
you
can name like everyone. 2 more. Yeah, you can just name 2
sucks.
more. Give me 2 more.
Maybe Columbus.
It's hard.
Detroit.
Yeah, Columbus, for sure.
I love Detroit though.
You do?
I mean, I love the city, and I mean, it's a hockey town. I feel like no one's gonna. I feel like you'd be excited to go to Detroit, and I mean, Nedeljkovic did.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's Stevie Y. Okay, never mind. You trust him, so it depends what we're going off here. But yeah, I mean, the Hurricanes are an interesting situation because it's not for if you want to be like a rich guy partying. Not a great place for that. There's not even one club.
Is there not one club?
No, but there's a lot of golfing. And there's it's a great place to raise a family. And if you like kind of like the Alberta, if you're like from Alberta, I can see you loving Raleigh too, because there's kind of places like that and like the country vibe kind of a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it to maybe like a young guy who just got a huge bonus and loves to party. But if you're kind of like, you want to win a cup and you don't want distractions, that might be a great place for you. Yeah.
Well, speaking of family, that video of Jordan Stahl and his kid was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God. His kids are so adorable. Yeah.
Just with the big hockey pants and like the little legs. It was like the cutest thing.
I know.
Maybe want to be a dad. Seriously.
I know. I got to stop watching those videos.
Yeah. They're too cute. But I want to know also, like, for you, who is your player that you are like focusing on, I guess, going into this season? Like, who are you most excited to watch? Like, it doesn't even have to be Carolina. It could be anyone in the league.
Ooh.
Mrazek.
Yeah. Oh my God. Tweeting the line. Is Mrazek in today from Goalie Daily Fantasy Draft 69? Oh my God. But, I guess that will be the next goal. Oh God, Freddie Anderson's going to be 15 times worse. Don't even get me started. But who am I looking at? I mean, probably a Hurricanes player because I covered them. Marty Necas, I think he could actually just be a star. I mean, from the way his career is panned out already, and he's not even playing center yet when he is a true center. I'm excited to see if they might move him to the center, if they might keep him at wing and like let him rip. He's just one of the best playmakers I've seen in forever. So he excites me. I
know nothing about, like, where did he come from? I know nothing about him. I never heard his name until he like, what?
I said literally.
Yeah, no, I don't know anything about him. Like, I know he's a good player, but I never heard of him till, like, I feel like not this season, but in the bubble is when I first heard his name.
Yeah, he was always kind of hyped up by kind of the people that are draft specialists, I guess, but kind of more for his passing. And then he came to the NHL and started shooting. And that's something that's really good with Brind'Amour. He kind of just, nobody is a passenger. Everybody can shoot. And then you see like Brett Pesce rack up points. You see all these guys have their like career year in points, like unlikely defensemen. And it's because everybody should jump the rush in his system. I'm
waiting for Svechnikov to really just like break out and like tear it up. Like that kid is so good.
I know. And you can see it in these plays, and he gets so frustrated because he's passionate and because he plays differently than like anybody I've seen in a while. And the way that I don't want to say Gordie Howe, but like, I feel like that's a good comparison of what, not on skill level.
That's like a crazy comparison.
I know. No. The way he plays, the way he drives to the net and like sets plays up is just, haven't seen a level like that since Gordie Howe. And I'm not like, he just needs to be able to finish it more and like do it without getting penalties, because that's the problem. Like so many broken plays have happened on his penalties where it's a fine line. Like, do you let him be himself and figure it out, or do you rein him in and then he doesn't drive to the net anymore? So that's kind of what he's trying to figure out right now, but he's almost a better passer than he is a shooter. And he's the hat tricks and the lacrosse goals. It's like, he's very special. And he had a tough season last season, if you want to call it that, because it just wasn't his best. But I think there was a lot going on, and I feel like he could break out this season. And if he doesn't, then you kind of start to worry, I guess.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a lot of fun to watch, and this is really funny to me because like just it is what it is. But are Carolina fans like freaking out that they let Fox go for nothing, pretty much? And now Dougie, like,
Dougie, yes. Fox, it was kind of like they always suspected that would happen because I mean he's a
to win the
hometown.
North. I mean,
Yeah, that's taking a big L. That
yeah.
is taking a big L. I'm good for him though. While we're here, I mean, he deserved it, and I voted for him, and it's like you don't see that really often. And maybe it was a down year for defensemen, I guess, but whatever. Like he deserved it, and a lot of times people vote on reputation. I think that needs to stop. And he didn't. What reputation could he have had? I think it was even more impressive that he came in and did what he did. But that's the reason why he kind of didn't budge when he was like, no, I want to have an opportunity to play in the NHL immediately. And I feel like Hurricanes fans hated that because they wanted him on their team, but they respected it in the end. Like the Canes had so many defensemen, and he immediately came onto the scene and started playing like top caliber. How can you blame him for wanting to have that opportunity?
I didn't know you voted for him. That's awesome. That makes me so happy. Yeah, that makes me so happy.
I know.
That's
I had
awesome.
to check my own biases because I love to see a Jew in the NHL succeeding. But I was like, okay, let's do the numbers. And then Shayna wrote that article, and I'm just like comparing him to everybody else. And I'm like, listen, of course, Victor Hedman is great, but this wasn't even the year for him. Like he had a down year. He was even struggling through injury. It's like, Adam deserved it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to convince me. I fully agree. But I cannot wait. And he's already told me that Carolina boos him, I guess, but I can't wait for this year. I feel like they're going to be on him whenever he touches the puck this year.
Yes, I've definitely heard some boos, and you know what? That's good. Like people want to hate on Carolina for having no fans and then get gas when they boo people and when they're passionate. And it's like, you can't have it both ways. Not Adam.
Like, no, I feel like we did talk about that on the other pot, the locker room, but like just the Carolina fans like can't win, right? Because if they're too passionate, they're like the bunch of jerks, and then if they're not showing up, then they're just no fan base in Carolina. So like I don't know, like what do you do as a Carolina fan? Well, you're not a fan, but like what would you do? I guess to like just change is there a need to change your reputation or no?
No, that's the thing. They don't care, and like opposing fans will actually come watch them. Maybe like because a lot of people from New York and the like move down here, and they will realize how awesome these tailgates are and how accepting Carolina fans are kind of other fans, as long as everybody's there having a good time. And like some of them even have been converted to Hurricanes fans based on that. It's just kind of fun tailgating hockey. Like they don't have enough time to care about the hate because they're too busy like drinking in the parking lot like they're allowed to. So
chugging out of their sneakers probably.
Yeah.
Do they do the sneaker chug down there? I feel like they would.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, someone I'm super curious about to see interact with the fans. Someone I'm sure you're super curious to see how he does. But Tony DeAngelo, a lot of controversy around him. Just as I don't know him personally, but just as a hockey player, like I'm hoping he obviously succeeds, hoping he like changes, whatever reputation there is about him. But how do you think he'll be embraced down there by the Hurricane fans?
I mean, you see so much on Twitter, and you wonder how much of that bleeds into real life. And I feel like, and I've already said my opinion on it enough. So it's like, what else can I say about it? I think it's not his fault that the Hurricanes signed him. What's he going to do? Turn it down? I feel like this was the Hurricanes' fault for creating this kind of like negative vibe, but what is he going to do? Right. And they've made it clear to him that he's on his last chance, and that like, if anything happens, he's gone. And I can say he's already got his first shot. Like he's going to be vaccinated. And I know I reported something like that, and people were just hating on him. And it's like, okay, like you can hate on him all you want, but is there anything you can do? I mean, obviously being vaccinated is kind of the bare minimum here, and Hurricanes have to be. That's kind of like what Elle said. And it's still like, okay, you can't hate on him for this one. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like some people are never gonna be okay with this. And then it's like, that's okay. That's your decision. But I think the question is, what can he do to make people be okay with this and to convince people that he has changed, or that like he maybe has been misunderstood in some aspects or something? I don't know, but that's the question here.
I feel like it's going to be a good comeback story, and like he's going to play well, and that the fans are just going to turn around and start to love him. I mean, that's just what I'm hoping for, like as a hockey fan, like who doesn't want that to happen?
I think there are some people that actually just
Yeah.
don't want that to
Yeah,
happen.
that was-
And I get it. And here's the thing.
As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, there's plenty of people that don't want that to happen.
And it's like, then what are we doing here though?
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see him change. And here's the thing though, we don't actually know him, but we know that he's kind of an asshole on Twitter.
Yeah.
And
Bunch of jerks plays into it though, you know?
yeah, not that
Couldn't be a
way,
better fit.
But yeah, how do we even quantify change, and what would it take? That's the question there. And it's a pretty complex thing. So here's the thing. I'm not going to be going into this being like, oh, I hate this guy. Like, I'm going to give him a fair chance to show that he's changed in some way. That's all I can do. Like, it's kind of on him. And it's like, we'd love to see him turn it around. Did he deserve the chance to turn it around? I don't think so, but he's here. So what are we going to do?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And I do want to steer away from that.
Yeah.
And I thought I'll cut that out, but I thought that was pretty fine, right?
Oh, that was good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I feel like I have to add,
I know. No, that's the thing.
Just steering away from that a little bit. Do you think Tampa's going to three-peat, or do you think that, I mean, like I said it before, like I might put my money on Carolina, but I know it's a little early to predict, but what do you have right now as your Stanley Cup final matchup?
Right. My thing with Carolina is there's so many changes and they weren't all necessarily bad. And I like a lot of them on paper, but it's kind of like, I need to be able to see them for a month together to see, especially like when you change both of your goaltenders, it's kind of like a whole different atmosphere. So I'm going to have to scope that out and see what I think about this team, and then say where I think they end up with the Stanley Cup. But I mean, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Seattle. Just kidding.
Wait, I have a hot take.
Oh God, Seattle's good.
No. I think Freddie Anderson might win the Vezina this year. I think having like a fresh start and a change of scenery is going to be such a big thing. Like, he's a great fucking goalie. He is.
I will say that. I will agree with that. And I think he was playing through injury last season, kind of like trying to prove something when obviously another guy was coming up in the wings. And that's so difficult, especially in Toronto. And I think he needed a fresh start. Absolutely.
I won't be surprised.
I don't know about trophies, but
those are my words, not yours. Don't worry.
You heard it here first, folks.
I'm not going to quote you on that.
First.
Yeah, exactly.
I think who's going to win the cup? The Avs. Nathan McKinnon's here.
Yeah. I mean, they're so good.
I know.
They're so
and they
good.
didn't have that many changes. I don't think. I feel like a lot of teams that are in contention kind of had big changes. And so it's tough to say.
Yeah, I got my eyes on Vegas and Colorado. I think I've taken Vegas like the last 3 years in a row, and Tampa's won every year, but they're due for one soon, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And before I like kind of wrap it up with you, I do want to talk to you about the women's game as well, because I know you're obviously very passionate about women's hockey. Also, what are your thoughts on changing the name from the NWHL to the Premier Hockey Federation? It's not like a new league or anything; it's just like literally the brand.
Yeah. A lot of people have opinions on this. That's kind of my thoughts on that. What I didn't really like the logo.
Yeah, the logo could be better.
Yeah, they could have put a little more effort into that. And I feel like in some ways it was kind of a hollow change, but in some ways I liked it, that whatever they're trying, you know what I mean? There were a lot of takes, and there's a lot of infighting in women's hockey, which you're entitled to if you're a fan, especially the diehard fans. It's like, I can't sit here and act like I'm a diehard fan that watches every single game. So I feel like I kind of follow the lead of the people that actually do and are reporting on it, like to a greater extent than I am. And a lot of them see it as kind of hollow, but I don't know. It's better than nothing, right? Like, what did you think about it?
I mean, like for me, I kind of liked NWHL. I think it had like a better ring than like Hockey Federation, you know? I didn't really, I first saw Premier Hockey Federation. I was like, oh, what is this? And then I clicked on it and I was like, oh, they changed. Like, I had no idea, it just sounds like I don't even know. I
get what they're doing, trying to make it more inclusive, that it's like trans women play hockey too. And I appreciate that, but I'd like to talk to trans women about that and see if they actually ever had an issue with NWHL being the name. Like, for
sure. I mean, do you also see the women's game? Like, obviously the last 10 years till now has been an insane amount of change. Like, where do you see it? I guess maybe 10 years is kind of a stretch, but 5 years from now, I think they'll be playing in NHL rink soon. I mean, at least I hope. Like, I hate the people that like don't support it because like who the fuck cares? Like let them play hockey. Like why does it bother you that people love the sport you love? Like it makes no fucking sense to me.
Oh, because they're intimidated.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they probably never watched a game. If they had, they'd know that it is amazing. Like
Yeah.
these oh my God, these women are about to fight at like every turn, and they're obviously not allowed to. But it's
Yeah,
like,
that's
it's
one
so
thing that
chippy.
could change it too.
Yeah,
Like if they allow
I want
fighting
them
and
to
hitting.
fight.
Yeah,
I would love that because they can hit heavy, and the tensions boiling up, like especially with USA and Canada, is just so entertaining. How can you call yourself a hockey fan and not enjoy that? I don't know.
Also, I was cracking up when I tweeted at you. I think you were saying, "Why can't I find anything on TV?" And you were looking for the game, and I was like, "Oh, watch White Lotus. It's great." I was cracking up, and then Shayna. I think Shayna replied, and I was like, "Oh, this is not what she meant." That was pretty funny. But I actually
in the literal sense.
I ended up finding the game though from that thread. So I saw the overtime goal, which was nasty.
It was nasty. I'm still not over it.
Yeah, that was sick. Well, I also want to ask about. I wanted to ask this in the beginning, but I know you like talked about your brother. We texted about it last night. But did you watch the game? Did you see the FDNY versus NYPD?
He was sending me pictures and videos. Let's look through those. I think there were a lot of fights. He told me.
Yeah, it was sick.
He was in the sidelines because he doesn't have the hands for that. I think he might have tried out for the team, or he's been involved in it with some degree. But there are a lot of guys that actually played like D1 and D2 and like
two Mercyhurst guys. That's where I was at.
Repping. So this is serious here, but the anthem here, that's emotional. Little stick taps. The whole band, this is a whole event. But there's a lot of fights. I guess it got chippy. So. What an awesome event. I love that Bucci and Linda Cohn were there and Ryan Callahan.
Yeah, no, that was a great crew. Linda Cohn, I've been trying to get in touch with Linda Cohn for like 2 months. She's the best. I mean, she's gotten back to me, but we just haven't found the time. Like she's so nice and so responsive, but obviously she's busy. So
a little bit. She's on Mad Dog Radio for like 17 hours a day.
She's awesome. I love Linda Cohn.
I know.
But before I let you go, is there anything that you want to plug? I know you have the Too Many Men podcast. Have you guys done that in a while? No, right?
Not really. We're trying to figure it out because the thing is we don't make money off it and we don't ever want to do that because that's like, it's our passion project. So whenever we are feeling passionate is when we record a podcast. Sometimes we're all just kind of busy and caught up in our own lives and stuff. But when our whole goal is to like, when we unleash it, we want it to be good. So
for sure. That makes sense. But is there anything you want to plug before we let you go?
Not really.
No?
theathletic.com/author/Sara-Civian.
Will there be a clause for a cause round 2 ever?
Oh my God. We'll see how the Delta variant goes. But actually, maybe. That was such a great event. I look back on that. I'm like, wow, we really did that. We got the crew together. We got Skillsy in a cowboy hat. That was eventful. We might have to do that for like another issue, maybe. Who knows?
Another issue?
Yeah.
Let's hope.
What else horrible is going around in the world? I can give you off the top of my head.
Oh, that's hilarious. But I want to thank you so much for doing this. I'm sure I'll, or if you want, hopefully get you back on during the season to talk about maybe a Ranger Hurricane game that's coming up or something. I don't know.
Of course, I'm down.
And when you're at MSG, maybe I'll try to find you in the press box if I go to the game.
Oh my God. 100%.
I'll ask Adam for tickets.
Yes.
But thank you so much. I'm just going to end
Oh my God. Anytime.